I'd gone to some audiologists. I just really didn't think I was a candidate. I was kind of faking it and guessing what people were saying, and it wasn't working. I got the Lexie hearing aids. Well, it's been night and day. Conversations at the family dinner table, watching a movie that I don't have to put on the subtitles for anymore. I get emotional sometimes because you really, if you're missing something and it comes back and you didn't think it was going to come back, that's a gift. And my kids are happier than I am that we were able to discover that again.
I mean, just an amazing story from Jeff about how his life transformed with Lexie. We are, of course, talking about a brand that are known for audiology, pairing with a brand known for sound, which is Bose. So you really are getting the best of both worlds in this, and this is an incredible deal. E326868 is your item number. This is the Lexie B2 Plus powered by Bose OTC hearing aids with carry case. Yes, over the counter for an FDA cleared medical device. Now here's the thing, let me just show you what you're getting. So this is what you're getting. These come, so you're getting two B2 Plus hearing aids with rechargeable batteries and that charging case, so you can charge on the go. You're getting open and closed domes. So this is what's going to be going into your ear, and in 3 different sizes. Your USB charging cable, which we'll show you in a minute because it's on the other side of the table. You're also getting your wax guards. It comes with a full instruction manual and a carry case, which is extremely stylish. Now, you're saving $150 off the price. This is usually $999. Today, it is $849. which brings your easy pay to $169.80. But here's the thing, we have fewer than 300 to go around, and that price goes away at the end of the day. And what I love about that for you is we all do it. Anything to do with adulting, we put it off because there's so much adulting to do. The to-do list is never done. And especially with things with health, we're kind of like, oh, well, I don't have time to. This really is the time to pick up on this because it's an incredible saving, an incredible price, but that price won't be there tomorrow. But if you're struggling with hearing or your partner is, you know that that issue is still going to be there. This is for adults 18 and over with mild to moderate hearing loss. We're going to be bringing in Brett, and he's going to be sharing with us exactly how this works. But I just wanted to share that value with you so that you can start thinking about picking up the phone and calling us to order 800-500-7590 while Brett explains everything about Lexie and Bose and how this can transform your life, just like we saw Jeff's. Hi, Brett. And Brett is a technology expert. He brings us a decade and a half of experience bringing us brands from around the world. Brett, it's so lovely to have your company today on this Friday.
Oh yeah, good to see you. And if it makes you feel any better, even at my age, I'm still struggling with adulting in general, let alone
oh, me too.
Trying to figure out whether or not I should get a new prescription or my dollar readers or try hearing. But there are a lot of choices out there. There's a lot to digest, Sam, when it comes to technology. And I don't think any of us thought at this point in our lives, we would be like, okay, so now my hearing aids are going to have an app. Stay right there. Don't freak out. That's actually a good thing. And for those of you going, well, I can't handle an app. Well, do you do text messages? Do you do emails on your phone or play games or whatever? It's easier. We have a whole hour to show you how Bose and Lexie have reinvented the hearing aid world. Because in the past, and Sam, you and I were talking about this yesterday on the phone, there was the stigma that went along with put something in your ear. You know, there's grandma. Look at that big honking piece she has. She must be getting old. She must not be. You know what? You can't go into a mall, walk through an airport, go to a grocery store without seeing people with stuff in their ears. They're listening to music. They're doing phone calls. We do video calls every day with those things. This is something that's got a much smaller footprint than anything we've been used to before. So what are we talking about today? These are the first FDA-cleared direct-to-consumer hearing aids developed for adults 18 years and older. And this is important, with perceived mild to moderate hearing impairment. What you're going to do is, and I'll show you this in a second, is you'll pair it with the revolutionary Lexie hearing app so you can fit, program, and control your B2 Plus hearing aids powered and created by Bose for clinically proven audiologist-quality customization. Now, here is the best part of all this. There's no doctor visit. There's no hearing test. In fact, I'm going to teach you how to do a hearing test yourself. no prescription, Sam, which is pretty cool. And you can make setting adjustments yourself in real time in these real world environments. It's the noisy restaurant, you're watching TV with the family, you go camping, whatever your world is, we're going to make it easier for you to understand all of that. But it took Bose decades to work with audiologists and engineers and take their expertise to create not only the first FDA cleared, but the #1 over-the-counter hearing aid out in the market right now. Speech that was once quiet or mumbled, children's voices, much easier to hear. It really is going to change the way you think about what hearing aids can do, and certainly what hearing aids can do, Sam, which is exactly what we're going to show you over the next hour.
Okay, this is exciting. I mean, as you say, Brett, FDA cleared, which I know for a lot of us, especially when it comes to things, we want to make the right choices. That's why we procrastinate, because we want to make the choices that are right for us, especially when it comes to our health or anything to do with our bodies. So knowing that this is FDA cleared, knowing that this is Bose, a brand that you know, and Lexie, a brand that this is the one thing that they do. You know, lots of brands do lots of things, but Lexie, it's audiology. This is what they are an expert in. It's two brands together bringing you this incredible deal. If purchased separately, this would be over $1,000, but today it is at that price of $849, but that price goes away at the end of the day. So, and we have fewer than 300 to go around, so that really isn't that many. E326868, that's your item number, and remember, you're not just talking about the hearing aids, we're talking about the rechargeable case. So if you're traveling or if you're on the go, or maybe you don't want to wear them for certain situations, you can be charging them when you're not wearing them. You're getting the different size cones, because obviously all ears are different, so you can customize not only your hearing but also the fit of your hearing aid. You've got your wax guards, you have your cleaning brush, charging cable, and a carry case, because we know, and Lexie know, that this is an investment, so something that you're going to want to keep safe, know exactly where it is when you're not wearing it. Now, if you're looking at that price and thinking, I need this, I want it, but $849 is not something I can pay today, remember, we have easy pay, and this is on 5 easy payments, so you can spread the cost for $169.80. It makes it a little bit more affordable. And here's something else you can think about doing. If you have an HSA or FSA, this could be eligible. So if you reach out to your administrator or your health insurance provider and find out, that could be another way in which you could spread the cost and bring that gift of hearing back. How good is it when you wake up on the weekend and you hear the birds singing, or you hear the laughter of children outside? This is the way to never miss out on those moments, by having the gift of hearing and just accepting, hey, just like wearing readers, this is the stage of life that I'm in, and I really want to enjoy every moment and not be missing out on great conversations and great audio experiences. So Brett, let's get into this.
Yeah.
So who would you say that these are for?
Well, we talked about mild to moderate versus what we call severe. This is something that you're going to have to get home. You're going to have to test it, but you're looking at as you look at the little graphic here, mild to moderate versus severe or profound hearing loss. If you have a profound hearing problem, please go see a professional, go see a doctor or an audiologist. One good indicator, Sam, for those of you going, okay, well, I don't know, maybe I'm right on the line. Do I need hearing aids? Do I not hearing aids? Certainly over the holidays, you were probably at some point, hopefully, in a group of people, and you could see in a crowded room, everybody else could understand what that person was saying, and you're kind of struggling. Well, there's a sign, and we all know somebody, if it's not yourself, that keep turning up the volume on the TV. And I always say that if the TV sounds like this at this volume, if you turn it up louder, and I'm not trying to be funny, you're just turning up the noise. You're just turning up the room noise. You're turning up the audio from the TV, and all you're doing is aggravating everybody else. As you saw from our friend Jeff at the beginning there in his little video, it wasn't just for him. He's not the only one that benefited or was affected by the positives of the hearing aid. It was his family members as well, as his kids, his grandkids, because I think that if you've ever been around somebody that struggles to hear and they're not ready to admit it, they do a lot of this. They do a lot of nodding, and they do a lot of kind of polite smiling when they think that somebody told a joke or whatever it might be. And the fact is, there's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with their mental state. They just can't hear, and they're embarrassed to keep saying, can you say that again? Can you say that to the waiter or the waitress? Can you give me those specials again? So what I want to play for you now is this kind of like before and after, kind of side-by-side simulation video. And in all fairness to Bose and Lexie, I think they did a terrific job with this, but it still doesn't get you anywhere near the experience that you'll have when you get them home and you fine-tune them, as I'll show you in the app for a second. But watch this video, a couple very common scenarios of what life sounds like now and what it could sound like with the help of Lexie and Bose. Watch this.
Ale from one of our local brewers. It's very crisp, citrusy, if that's what you're into. And tonight's soup is butternut squash, and that comes with a wood-grilled crostini with eggplant on the side. It's very popular. Also on the menu tonight are spicy chicken wings with a blue cheese sauce, and these will both pair nicely with that pale ale I mentioned. So what can I get for you?
At the end of their long journey, our colony of penguin chicks have reached the ocean. They peer over the edge, waiting for the right moment, anticipating the dangers that await. Until finally, one of them jumps, which inspires the others to follow, a clumsy cascade of juvenile penguins falling into the sea.
Wow, Brett, it's such a stark contrast. And I love that example of the family sitting around watching a movie together, because especially with the holidays, we've just passed the holidays, sometimes we can kind of ignore the fact that, we're turning up the TV, but then when other people that we don't usually live with come stay with us, suddenly it becomes a lot more apparent that everybody's like, hey, why is the TV so loud? Or, the baby upstairs can't sleep because the TV's so loud. And it's just like a completely different experience.
Yeah, and I think for many of us, it's gradual. These are a perfect example. You and I were laughing about this yesterday. The very first time I realized I needed readers, I'm trying to read a serial number on the back of a laptop. And it was broad daylight. The sun was shining into the dining room window. I mean, the conditions could not have been any better to read this number. And I was like, and I put it off, and I put it off, and I put it off, and then I got got. And all of a sudden, like that. Well, the same thing happens with your hearing. To your point, Sam, you turn the volume up a little bit more on the TV each time, hoping it's going to solve the problem. Not only does it not solve the problem, but it irritates everybody else. And my mom and stepmother can both testify to that, because for both of them, it got to the point where they were like, I can't watch TV with you anymore. So clearly I helped them with sound bars and hearing aids and stuff like that. But before I get into this features video, I want to show you, while we're talking about all this, the magic of what these hearing aids are capable of doing. If you take a look at the app here, well, we'll watch the video. Okay. The whole idea is that you've got self-fitting hearing aids, and self-fitting means you're going to adjust them yourself. And you get that audiologist customization simply by doing the hearing test that I'll show you in a second. That's built into the app. That's the incredible part about it. The beeps, the tones, and all that stuff. You don't have to go to a doctor anymore. You can do that yourself. You can also stream phone calls directly through the hearing aids themselves, meaning you're not holding the phone up to the hearing aid. For some of you, that might be awkward. Sam mentioned the charging case. These are rechargeable. You're not spending money on batteries day in and day out. The 3 sizes of the domes, we'll get to that in a second, and why those are important, not just for comfort, but for the overall experience. But I can't say enough about the technology that's inside here in such a tiny, tiny little footprint. These microphones that kind of absorb the sound around you and then either clean it up or mute it or suppress it, depending on the situations that you're in. And you're able to actually save the settings in the hearing aid so that each time you go to that specific environment, it could be the noisy restaurant, it could be the crowded movie theater, whatever it might be, and the ability to be able to fine tune those mics so that they're directional. Imagine that, being able to kind of shut off what's next to you and what's behind you so that you can understand the person in front of you. And all that has led to, Sam, these being the #1 over-the-counter hearing aid. And I just can't even imagine, like being #1 in any sort of tech category, because there's so much competition out there. But when you've got Bose as a part of this, actually they created, and then Lexie kind of jumped in and made them even better. It speaks volumes. So please know that there are a lot less expensive, quote unquote, hearing aids out there that are nothing more than amplifiers. Don't be fooled by $100, $200, $300 hearing aids. I get it. I'm spending your money here. 500-pound gorilla in the room is $850. But for that $850, way better than the $5,000, $5,500 we spent on my stepfather's hearing aids. This is probably going back 8 or 10 years. He wore them for about 6 months. He didn't really notice a difference. And they're in a drawer next to his bed. And he's using the B2s now. He's not using the B2 Pluses. He's using the B2s. And it's just made his life a lot better, And he's 85 years old, and he knows how to use the app. So what am I talking about with this app? I keep building this
Well,
thing
this
up.
is, I mean, this is the
Show it
thing,
to you.
because often when we think about an app, it's like, oh, really? Do I need another app? Like, I just moved into an apartment building and there are 4 or 5 different apps. And they said, oh, well, have you posted in the resident app? Because I had a leak, and it was like, yeah, I have the resident app. And they were, no, there's one actually called just the, like, there were so many apps, and it can clog up our phone. But when you see the benefits of this, it really is that Bose